So I want to do a little crab fishing. I've been crab fishing most of my life, just sort of, with pickup box traps that do blue crabs. You hang them off a bridge and you look down, you wait till the crab crawls in it, you pick it up, the door's all shut, and you pick it up, put it on the bridge. Or bait on the end of a line, just throwing it out there and sitting in the boat, wait till you get some resistance on the end, pull it up, and put a net behind them in the current, because when they see the boat they're going to let go and then they go in the net. But I wanted to start doing some real crab trapping with actual traps. My neighbor, he's a commercial crabber. Now, the past couple years he hasn't done real well. It's been kind of slim pickings. This year he does a lot of stone crab. He came back and said crabbing's pretty good. So I said, well, might as well take the plunge. So I ordered myself, here in Florida we're allowed to fish recreational. Now I'm a commercial fisherman, but I don't have my permits and stuff to do crab, so I can't commercially do them. But as a recreational fisherman, I can fish 5 traps. And there's all kinds of requirements surrounding the traps. You need a 6-inch buoy, and they got to be certain dimensions, and have escape holes, and a chew out or a rod away panel in case you lose your trap. It doesn't sit out there and trap forever as a ghost trap on its own. The panel will rot out of it and the crabs can get out. So I went on the internet and I didn't know where to get the traps for sure, so I started searching the forums and the net and whatever else, and I came up with these folks. And that fish hook is a J, so it's Cudjoe Sales, and they're down in, like the name says, Cudjoe Key, down in the Florida Keys. And their website is cudjoesales.com. Now, I'm not affiliated with these guys or anything. That's just who I ordered my stuff from. So anyhow, I paid for it and everything, just like everybody else would. And what I ordered was what they call their full Monty kit. And what that does is it gets you everything you need. I've got my 5 crab traps. I've got 5 styrofoam buoys. I got 5 leads to go on my rope. You put it about 3-4 feet down so that it makes the line go down, so when boats run by you don't have a line floating on the surface that they run over and drag your trap away on you. The chew out bio board, they call it. 8 3/4-inch stainless screws. The funnel that goes in the crab trap. Around here we fish oval funnels. They gave me apparently a crab lobster gauge, aluminum, so I didn't know it was coming with a gauge. That's nice. And then 100 foot of 5/16 rope, so I can put them on my traps. But there's a list. The whole kit cost me $110, and $6.60 in tax, because I'm a Florida resident. They're in Florida, so I got to pay tax. And then it kind of whacked me on the shipping, but they used FedEx and it came fast. I ordered it late in the day, about closing time for them on Monday. And here it is. I think it took them a day the next day they might have got it in the mail. They might have boxed it up and let FedEx know they haven't. Maybe picked it up Wednesday, but I got it 3 o'clock Thursday afternoon. So it's October 22nd, Thursday afternoon, 2015. And I'm going to put these things together, and there's a bunch of assembly required. But I'll take you over there and show you what I got. It comes in 2 boxes. Now I can't see my screen, the sun's real bright, so I'm hoping y'all can see this. It comes in 2 boxes, a bigger one that has all the traps in it, and a smaller one that's real light that I think's got everything else in it. So this one came a little bit open from FedEx. So, but now these traps are plastic. So yeah, it's just a bunch of panels I'm going to have to snap together. This one, like I said, it's got the buoys in it, it's got the funnels in it, it's got the rope in it. These are chew out panels that'll let your traps quit fishing if you lose them. There's my leads that go on the ropes, keep them down. The rope bag of screws. There's a lot more than 8 screws there. Maybe they're number 8s. Maybe that's what the 8 meant. And then the gauge they give you. So there's an L and a C. So I'm guessing lobster and crab. But there it is. Now let me put a couple together, get it all figured out, and then where I get good at them, I'll film one and show you how they go together. Okay, I forgot to mention a minute ago that these traps do not have bottoms. The bottom's actually poured concrete, so I had to go buy, they say a half a bag does one trap. So that's the only thing that's not included here that you need, other than your bait and your crabs that are going to be in them. But, so I had to go buy 3 bags of concrete to do 5 traps. My commercial neighbor buddy just busted a bottom out of his trap, so I told him bring it down, and the other half a bag that's left over I'll pour in his trap for him and fix his trap. So the other thing I forgot to mention was the grand total for all this to get to my house from Cudjoe Key up to my house in Stuart, Florida was $151. So that gets me 5 traps, maxes out my recreational limit there of 5 traps. If this goes real good for me, I start getting a bunch. Maybe I'll order the wife 5 traps too. But the only thing is now, for me to fish her 5 traps, she's got to be on the boat to pull them. Or to put them out anytime those traps get handled, because your name and your address, I have to make tags to put my name and your address on the trap, permanently affix it, they say. So I got to figure out how I'm going to do that. But if this goes good and she wants to do it, maybe I'll spend another 110. Incidentally, I got a few of my blue crab traps there too. I went and picked up a few of those, so I've got to rig those up with ropes and buoys too. You're allowed to fish 5 blue crab traps and 5 stone crab traps. Now that's not to say that you won't catch some stones in your blue crab or some blues in your stones, but you're allowed to fish 5 blues and 5 stones. So I personally gonna fish 10 traps total, and perhaps the wife will too. We'll see what happens. All right, trap assembly. This is a finished trap. Here's your chew out panel, your funnel, your 2 hinges, your 2 latches. Like I said earlier, they're bottomless. So the bottom's going to be filled with concrete, which weights it down and forms the bottom. The instructions on how to put these together are not super clear. There's no pictures. So, and it talks about the front panel and the side panels and the top panel, and doesn't really tell you which is which and stuff. And you know, make sure the slats are out or the ridges are out and all this stuff, and unless you've done them, you don't know what you're dealing with. My advice is lay everything out. Put your screws in a pile, hinges, your latches. Now the top, they're going to be obvious. They're going to have the funnel in it. So then there's, if you order the full Monty, the 5 trap kit, there's going to be 10 panels all the same. And then there's going to be 2 stacks of 5 panels. The difference in these two is this one's got your chew out, and a piece of wood goes in there, so like I said earlier, your trap isn't out there ghost fishing if you lose it. So let's get started putting this together. I'm having a hard time seeing my screen because the sun is super bright out here. You want to make sure your this is your chew out panel. It just fits right down in there. You want to make sure it's sort of centered. It's got a little bit of slop in it. it just takes 2 screws from what they call the inside of this panel. Okay, then you're going to need to grab 2 of the matching panels and 1 more of the panels without the windows in it in the top panel. And they said to assemble this, you should use a mallet, and dish soap helps. Well, the last one I just did, I didn't use any of that. So now, let's see here. Which panel's which? Okay. So these here ridges all go on the outside. And it's simply groove here and tabs here. You just put them guys together. Bam. Neighbors let her dogs out. Somebody's coming to visit. There you go. Then you take your top panel. Now if you notice the hinges, they've got big holes on one side and either no or little holes on the other side. The ridges on this one go on the inside. These tits here go down on the inside. So you want to snap these hinges on so your big holes will be towards that way. Because what you're going to do is slide them. You're going to open them up and slide them on the groove of this panel. It doesn't really matter which one, but I'm going to do them all the same so my chew outs are all towards the back corners. You separate those babies out, snap them down in there. Push them all the way to the back. Get everything centered up. And then you're going to put 4 screws down through those 4 holes. And it's going to screw through the top of the hinge, through the lip on the box itself, and then back down through the small hole in the bottom of the hinge. And don't get, if you're using a screw gun like I am, don't get carried away, because that's soft plastic. I mean, this thing will blow right through that plastic like nothing. Now you want to put your funnel in. Simple process, just drops right in the hole. There's holes already in the box form. Everything should line right up. And then you just go around those 4 holes. Only thing left to do, 2 more screws and these hinges. I like to center my hinges from side to side between these two. That way I can either flip them this way or this way when I open them. So if you put them right in the middle and line up the backside edge, even with the edge of the trap, you can flip them either way, and you tighten them up so that there's some resistance on the hinge so it just doesn't flop open on its own. Test it, good resistance. So and that's it. That's a fully assembled trap minus the concrete bottom. I probably won't get to those today. It's getting towards dinner time. My wife wants me to cook up a rack of ribs, so I'll probably pour them tomorrow. But that's how she's supposed to work and what she's supposed to look like when she's done. Alright, so I didn't film this part, but what I did, I was telling you that you need concrete in the bottom of your traps. So I went to Home D, picked up this concrete mix, Sakrete, high strength, 80-pound bags. And it takes 1 bag will do 2 traps, and my neighbor brought his trap over, it needed a bottom. So I did 6 traps off of 3 bags. I brought an extra bag. Mixed it up in that tub and poured it in the bottom of these traps. Now something I did was, to give myself a little more strength and secure them, is I drilled some holes in the middle of each side of the trap here, and that a 12-penny nail, heavy galvanized nail would fit in, to just secure the bottoms in a little more. But that's all you do. You just, I mixed it in that bin, scooped it into here with a shovel, had a rubber glove on and matted it down with my hand and went on with it. Now I've also got my ropes on, and these ropes don't hold a very good knot, so I tied a bowline in there and zip tie it just to be sure that it won't come off. Put my leads on. These are 20-foot ropes I'm running on my traps. Most time I'm in 6, 8, 10, 12 feet of water. So put a lead on about 5 feet down so it drags the line down so boats don't run it over because it's floating. I painted my buoys a flat brown because I just didn't want them sticking out. I mean, people raid traps. If they can see this ball from several hundred yards away, it's hard to see this ball unless you're right up on it. And to distinguish mine from the other ones out there, I put a gold R. You got to have a 2-inch R here in Florida because if you're recreational, it signifies that it's a recreational buoy. If you're a commercial guy for stone crabs, you're going to have a 4-digit crab number. It's going to be like X888 or something. So, but, yep, that's it. There's the rope. Just tie it on the corner. And carve my names and address in the top. You got to do that. It's got to be permanently attached. So, that's the traps.